Welcome back to Tech at Tech. If you've ever walked through a train station, flown out of an airport, or admired the skyline of a city being reinvented, chances are Autodesk had a hand in it. Not with cranes and concrete, but with a software that helps architects, engineers and builders turn sketches into structures and ideas into reality. At a time when Europe is looking to leverage AI and data, the roles of companies like Autodesk becomes more important. How is technology shaping the future of our cities and societies? And how do we ensure that everyone takes part in this future? To help us untangle some of that, we're joined by Clémence Arto, Autodesk Director for Government Affairs and Public Policy for EMEA. Welcome, Clémence.
Thank you, Thomas.
So, Clémence, for those who may not know, how would you describe Autodesk's role in the European economy today?
Well, the simplest way I usually describe Autodesk is by saying it's about building on a computer before building in real life. So in Europe, we serve thousands of customers, from architect to engineering companies, general contractors to cities, water infrastructure owners, product manufacturers. And what we do is we help them achieve their project in a faster, cost-effective, and more sustainable way. So, for example, you're looking to build a new school, you're a city, and you want this new building to be energy efficient. You want to minimize the carbon footprint. So we provide the right data, the right insight for them to really optimize their choices. And basically, we are a strategic partner to our European customers to help them achieve competitiveness and resilience.
Okay, and your technology has supported some of Europe's most iconic projects. I'm sure you will tell us a bit about that. But what do these projects say about how design, policy, and public purpose come together in Europe?
There is one project that I'm very proud of and I was personally involved in. It's the restoration of Notre-Dame Cathedral. After the fire, Autodesk stepped in and created a full 3D model, a digital twin of Notre-Dame. That model was used by the teams in charge of reconstruction to restore in time. It was used for site logistics to ensure workers' safety, to position the lights in the cathedral. And so it was a moment of pride for Autodesk, but also it gave a sense of belonging to the local community because policymakers were involved in rebuilding this iconic monument. And we know that in Europe, the heritage is super important. We also were involved in the Olympic Games infrastructure in Paris, and we are going to be a partner of the LA 28, ensuring that the buildings, the infrastructure for those games are created with the idea of repurposing after the games. So those examples show how policymakers and private companies can come together to help preserve our heritage for the future, and this is really important for Europe.
Thank you, Clémence. And as part of all of that, AI is playing an important role in the industries, yours, but also for your customers. So how does Autodesk support this transition, and how would you like to see from policymakers in Europe?
AI is not new to Autodesk. Something I want to say is we've been kind of the pioneers of AI in our industry. We often speak about AI in text and images, but where we come with a unique point of view is AI for the real world, for the 3D world, construction, manufacturing. And for that to work, you need AI tools, AI models to understand the shapes, to understand 3D in the real world. And that takes a lot of research. So it's something we've been doing for years. And now we're progressively embedding AI into our tools. And so I'm really happy that we are, having this AI insights into what customers use on a day-to-day basis to analyze, provide better analysis, insight, predictive analysis, to automate. Take just us. Let me give you an example. If you're a product manufacturer, for every product you have to create a lot of 2D documentation, 2D drawings. Well, using AI with one click, our customers can issue this documentation. It saves them a huge amount of time. AI also serves to augment human design. Maybe if you build a new house, you can think of 10, 20 shapes. Maybe with the AI, you can have 50, 100, so you can serve your own customers better. What I see in Europe is I'm really happy that EU is looking to accelerate adoption of AI in the industry. So the Apply AI strategy is exactly something that I feel is very important for Europe and something that we are keen to support. Same goes for the data union. Pulling data together to allow better AI training is something we support and will continue to support it.
Okay, and with all of that, how are you navigating the changing AI and data regulatory landscape across Europe?
Well, Thomas, you've been in that job long enough to know that what companies value the most is predictability in the regulatory landscape. And I mean, we that's our job, monitor what's happening. But for our colleagues in product, in tech, when they have to adopt the global product and change features based on regulation, it's sometimes hard to keep up. So what I value, is a landscape that is EU-wide and that has some form of certainty. And when it comes to monitoring and engaging with EU institutions, well, we think that industry organization like BSA is well placed to represent our sector. So we're really happy to have you guys monitoring, the changing landscape. What I focus on is identifying the places where we have a unique perspective, where we can bring something in the form of expertise to the EU institutions. So we signed the EU AI Pact. We have a trusted AI team monitoring this, but I mainly engage on Apply AI strategy, things where I think we bring a unique voice.
Okay, thank you very much. So now, Clémence, I like to end all of these interviews with one last question, which is there a fun fact or a myth about Autodesk that you'd like to share with us?
Actually, it's a fun fact, but I'm going to ask you a question. What do Titanic, Avatar, and Dune have in common? Aside from being great movies to watch, They were all made
with Autodesk
using Autodesk software for their visual effects.
Wow.
As a matter of fact, in the past 20 years, every movie that won Best Visual Effect at the Oscar was made using our tools.
That's wonderful. And so I won't watch these movies like with the same eyes as before.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Clémence, for joining us.
Thank you, Thomas.
And thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time.